Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO run, where we are building the ultimate swordsman, or swords potato, I suppose. This is a run I've been wanting to do for a while, where I'm going to build a character that has the most power in a single blade, because while you were partying, they were studying the blade, a one-armed and the king. So the idea here is we're going to rank up our sword to as powerful as possible. And we can't buy level 1 items because, of course, the king is going to reduce our HP, or we're going to have trouble with that. Ideally, we'll find Excalibur, but if we don't, then we've still got just the sword itself, which is a pretty fun weapon to use. Melee one-armed builds are pretty tough in general, so I'm interested to see how well this works. I think this will probably be a pretty strong combination, but honestly, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know for certain. Try to actually clear these waves as much as possible. Made 60 materials, which for GMO isn't incredible, but is fine. I'm just going to take 5 luck here. I could roll for harvesting, but we definitely are going to want luck. We do lose 2 melee damage if I buy the fertilizer, as well as 2 maximum HP for the king as well. But I think I am going to buy the fertilizer. We can only roll level 1 items in this shop, even with 55 luck, I believe. So we have to buy at least some level 1 items or just save our money. So we're going to buy the fertilizer. We're going to buy the weird ghost. We lose 2 max HP, but gain 3, so we're net +1, and then any future weird ghosts we have, because only the first a different level 1 item costs you anything with the king, so any future weird ghosts we have will actually increase our HP the full amount. Roll a couple times just to see if there's anything powerful that we can get, and indeed there is. We're going to pick up the bag. Do I want to spend 2 max HP on a plant? I will probably want regeneration over lifesteal, because we've only got 1 melee weapon. Even though we attack faster, that's still difficult to lifesteal with. But losing 2 maximum HP for the plant is pretty painful. I think I'm going to pass on it. So here I need to obviously avoid tanking a hit, or we're going to die. Which is a little bit harder than it sounds on the one-armed, just because you don't have the leeway of your weapons actually clearing the enemies quickly. Also, given that we have 50 starting luck and took 5 extra luck, I was expecting to get a consumable to put us back into not getting one-shot territory much sooner than we did. But it still worked out okay. Here I'm going to take 6 max HP. That's an awesome find. Very useful for this character, of course. I don't think we care about Baby Gecko, so let's reroll. I will take the Little Frog. While we will want dodge, I do just have to buy good level 2 items as we see them. And then I could roll to see if we get a level 2 sword. Just 1 reroll for 4, but I think I'm just going to save my money. Next wave, we have a much higher chance of seeing level 2 weapons, so obviously I'd like to upgrade this sword, but we don't need to roll for it aggressively like we would on other characters. Really like how quickly we're killing enemies even with only the 1 weapon here. Let's reroll. We can definitely do better. I would like to find some flat melee damage. I'll take the level 2 attack speed. Obviously, attack speed is not super important for the one-armed because you have a bunch of it, but it still helps. And then here we'll take the melee damage to get back into the positives. We will definitely take the Little Frog. That brings us to 20 harvesting. Do I take the head injury? So I lose 2 HP, but gain 12% damage. I think that's probably worth it. So we'll take that. I will lock the Cyber Ball. On the one-armed, non-weapon sources of damage are incredibly helpful, so that's definitely something that we want to invest in whenever we see it. Things like Cyber Ball, Alien Eyes, Baby Elephants, and so on. That is a reason to take the Gecko in case we want to invest in elephants later on down the line, but I didn't think it was worth spending 2 max HP and the money before we've even seen a baby elephant. And it's not like we're going to struggle with leaving materials on the ground, most likely, because we only have the 1 melee weapon. The Cyber Ball, of course, is going to occasionally kill enemies outside of our range, but not too frequently. Gonna leave those materials so I can make sure I kill the tree. Basically left 5 on the ground in exchange for that. I want defensive stats, but let's just take the melee damage here. And then, nice, we get to upgrade our sword and buy a cyber ball. Roll. Lure is perfect. Cake is HP positive for us, which I think is good. I'm going to pass on the helmet because it cost me max HP. Lure is great, obviously, because we get the loot aliens, but also because we get the regeneration, which we want. And normally regeneration comes from level 1 items like plant and mushroom primarily. So getting a level 2 item that gives us regeneration without costing us max HP is pretty helpful. Nice, getting a lot of crates, which is good. Obviously, that is something that you hope for on the king, since you have the 50 starting luck to enable that. Another cyber ball, awesome. Recycling machine, great. Both excellent finds for us. Here, I really need to make sure my damage is continuing to one-shot enemies, so I will take that. And then 10 luck or 9% dodge. The 9% dodge can start building dodge for us right away, so I think I'm gonna do that. Here, we will definitely take lure. We'll take cake. It costs me 2% damage, but that's still fine. And then I will also take defective steroids. This is HP neutral. And then we can buy more of them in future without costing us health. Roll again. Compass I'm going to grab. I don't know how much we care about critical hit chance on this character, because our idea is going to be to have the sword just do enough damage without critting, that it just one-shots enemies. But if we get enough of it, I might start investing into it. Cyberball, helping with wave clear, but also the fact that we found 2 cyberballs does make me regret not taking that gecko earlier. Healing back up. We did get lucky and get 3 loot aliens. And that is 3 crates. Which, combined with our bag, of course, is a lot of money. Our bag and our recycling machine both raise the value of those crates. Wow, I almost died there. Okay. So I do need to get more regeneration, armor, and defenses, because this melee one-armed is still a pretty dangerous build. Ooh, can we kill this before the end of the wave? Nice. Really happy we got that kill. This I'm going to recycle. I don't want to lose max HP. We will take a bag, and that won't even cost me HP. Tree is worth spending 2 health on. Coffee isn't for the one-armed. Normally, I would buy coffee on the one-armed, but not at the cost of 2 HP also, so there's just too many penalties for this version of the character. Take the armor there, and then 4 regeneration. That's good. That'll help keep us full health all the time. There's some consideration for buying Sharp Bullet, because we could end up with a lot of turrets and stuff, things that key off of the projectile piercing. I'm not going to buy it speculatively, but this is an item that's worth considering for the one-armed. We will take the cake now. Again, it cost me 2% damage, but now we're just plus 3 HP on it, so that's great. I have talked about regretting not buying the baby gecko, so I will buy it, and then I will spend 1 armor on 8 dodge, because I do want to start building dodge early and often. Roll again. A weird ghost. We have 7 regeneration, and again, we prepped for buying this weird ghost by buying the first one, so that can help out. Do I want the garden as well? Currently, we're struggling a little bit with healing. We don't have anything that really cares about us picking up consumables, so we're not gaining extra value from the garden the way like Farmer or whatever would, or if we'd found Dusty Fedora. But it is just a little bit of free healing. I think it's not worth locking here, so I'm going to pass and go to the next wave. Really do want to find some consumables. Because we bought the weird ghost, I'm going to kill that 1 egg. Until I find a consumable, I don't want too many slashers on the field. We're just at low health, so I didn't want to put myself in danger of being pressured to dodge in weird ways. Also, our damage is not actually keeping up super well with the waves currently, so the slashers could actually be pretty dangerous for us. Yeah, Yeah, because we need 4 hits to kill them. Want to get to that tree, but these guys are all in my way, of course. There we go. Got it right at the end, and got a crate out of it, which is awesome. I don't want to lose speed, but I do want to take regeneration. I think because we have the recycling machine, I'm going to recycle the campfire. If I didn't, I probably would buy it, but spending 50 and 2% speed on 2 regeneration, I just don't think is that good an exchange for us. The metal, obviously, an awesome find, so we're definitely going to grab that. And then, would I rather have 3 armor or 9 dodge, or should I just roll for max HP? I think I will take 3 armor. That can help keep us alive. Here, I could lock the Peacock until wave 9. That could get me a lot of extra XP, and I think is in fact what we're going to do. So we're basically giving up 1 shop slot for the wave 8 shop, so that we can buy this going into wave 9 and get the doubled XP on the most XP-filled wave in the game. Pick up the muscly dude, that's an amazing find, and the head injury, and then roll. Lemonade, is that worth spending 2 HP on? It probably is, and I'll roll again. And even though I do want to build dodge, I also really want to build max HP. Our max HP was quite low, so I'm going to buy the acid here. And then we will save our money, leaving the Peacock locked. I need to get a little more base melee damage, just so that the sword actually one-shots all of these enemies in the next wave, if possible. Because if we let the horde enemies stack up on wave 9, we could really put ourselves in danger. Obviously, you have fewer weapons, so enemies that surround you or attack from multiple sides on the one-armed are much more dangerous, especially for the melee one-armed. So if we can't clear them quickly, we put ourselves in danger of getting surrounded and taken out. Insanity, I'm going to recycle. I don't want to lose 2 melee damage here. And then here, so 12 melee damage would be awesome. 3 armor would also be awesome, but let's err on the side of making sure we're actually clearing the wave. Then I will take the Peacock and the Missile. We lose 4% attack speed, but we've got plenty. And 20% damage is a lot. So now we do 100 damage with our sword, so that should be more than enough to one-shot all the enemies, which is great. I'm going to buy the Gentle Alien here, of course. That's HP neutral. Tentacle is interesting. That is a way to heal if I end up building crit chance later on. We've reduced our crit chance a lot, but I think I'm going to speculate on the Tentacle. I think it's worth doing that. Because if we get even a little bit of crit chance, that can help solve our healing issues by itself. This build does struggle usually with healing. The one-armed often struggles with healing, especially on melee versions, because it seems like with plus 200% attack speed, lifesteal is going to be really good. But you actually attack half as often as a character with 0% attack speed but 6 weapons. So you are significantly worse at using lifesteal than other characters. That's a common misconception about the character that I see propagated frequently. Not that you can't do lifesteal builds, especially if you're using like a multi-hit weapon or whatever. Whoops, okay, I need to be a little more careful here. Because I do still have the Peacock, so we could still die in a single hit. That meant I had to give up that tree, unfortunately, but just because I walked into too many enemies. Take the Gentle Alien here, and then I do want speed, but let's take the armor just to make sure I don't die. We'll take some damage here, and then, yeah, 8 melee damage. That should help kill things very quickly. And here I'm going to take the regeneration, just to make sure that we've got healing. I could have taken more melee damage, but honestly, 50 base melee damage, I feel like that's enough for us for now. We'll take this and this. Get our last bag, that's good. Fairy costs me 0 regeneration right now, but presumably on King we will be buying a lot of tier 4 items. There's a chance this ends up being regen negative later on for us, but I think it's still worth buying now because it's just going to give us 20 regeneration right away, which is, of course, very important. I will take the bowler hat, which makes this tentacle much worse, obviously, but is still worth grabbing. And then I'm going to roll here. Sad tomato I will buy. Sadly, we can't buy the sword here, and I don't want to cap my HP at 43, so we're just going to the next wave. So the only thing that I would do differently if I was, if I had all the information that I had at the time, I think I would buy that baby gecko. Obviously, a couple of our decisions, like the tentacle, hasn't worked out because I immediately reduced my crit chance. But I would buy the baby gecko, the first one, and we'd have 2 now, because we would then have 2 cyber balls, elephants and stuff that we find would be really useful later on. So we just would be making sure that we are actually picking up all these materials more reliably. The fairy is a huge find for us, though. As you can see, it's really fixing our regeneration issues, as it so often does. Boiling water, of course, we're recycling, and then I guess I'll just take another 32% damage. That's pretty good. We will take the sad tomato, and banner costs me 2 lifesteal, which we're not using. Gives me range and attack speed, which I don't really need. So I think we're going to pass on the banner. It's an inefficient way to buy those stats, typically. Another gentle alien is a good find, and Finn I will definitely take, while losing luck is a little painful, and we don't care that much about the lifesteal. It's not like the lifesteal is totally useless, and the 10% movement speed is very helpful for us right now. Coupon, that's worth giving up 2 HP for. Shackles for capping our speed at 15. That's a little lower than I like to cap speed typically, but 8 regeneration on this regeneration build feels very important, so I'm going to do that. I guess I give up 2 max HP but get 1 regen now every time I buy a unique level 1 item, so I do have to keep that in mind as something that offsets the king penalty, just the fact that we have fairy. It's not that often that you'll buy fairy on a king build, but we ended up with a lot of level 1 items on this build because normally on king you just roll for weapons on your first 3 waves, but we're the 1-armed, so we didn't have the option to do that. So we ended up just buying a lot of level 1 items regardless of the penalty, the max HP penalty that this character has. Gonna work my way back through the center of the arena here and make sure I'm picking up all those materials. And then my move speed is capped, so let's just roll here. 3 armor, awesome. I would love a stone skin because we've got 13 armor. And then let's roll again, or do I just take 3 HP? I think we can do better. Yep, 32% damage again, that's pretty nice. Am I willing to spend 4 melee damage on 30 luck? I think I am. Luck is still really good for this character, so we'll definitely take it. Rip and Tear is an awesome find for the 1-armed, again, because our damage is always going to be super high. So we will take the Rip and Tear, we will then buy both of these. Totally giving up on this tentacle now with minus 11% crit chance. There's just no point in trying to invest in that. So now if I can find some explosion size for this Rip and Tear, that would be huge. That's what it Rip and Tear scales most with, is explosion size, like more than it does with melee, with actual damage. The thing that it cares about is just explosion size, because it wants to basically chain the explosions across multiple enemies, have each of them chain across other enemies, so you end up with bigger and bigger chain reactions the larger the explosions are. The more likely it is to overlap across several enemies and cause a second explosion, which then takes out more enemies in turn, and so on. It's the fusion process in miniature. Blood donation here. I think we have the regeneration to support this, so I will pick it up. It is a little bit dangerous, but I think fine for this character. And do I lose 5% speed to gain 24 melee damage? The one armor loss is obviously a little bit of a downside as well, but Big Arms is really good here, so we'll take it. We'll take 9 HP. Jeff's Shades will give us additional attack speed as well, but 2 damage per second is starting to get pretty steep. So I think I'm actually going to pass on the Jeff's Shades. All right, Thunder Sword. I mean, this is still a sword build, so Thunder Sword is right up my alley. I'm going to pick this up. Now we can get elemental damage as we buy it, but obviously just the Thunder Sword is so much fun that we're going to pick this up. It scales better than the normal sword with just normal melee damage anyways. Let's roll here. We already got a defective steroid, so we can upgrade that. Now lifesteal is a little more valuable as well with the Thunder Sword. And then here, I'm going to take the energy bracelet just for... I'll take the charcoal. We'll lose 2 max HP, but I'm going to buy this and this. I think not the energy bracelet for 4 elemental damage because the crit chance is useless. But these 2 items are pretty nice for us. Those do 20 already. Maybe 4 elemental damage is actually fine. If I just build up to like 10, then that's going to start clearing the waves immediately. Thunder Sword's also just such a satisfying weapon to use. One of my favorites. Really wishing we had that third gecko, of course. Now that we've got even more damage spread across the field. I will say 3 bags was a pretty fortunate turn of events for this character as well. Ooh, can we kill this before the end? Nice, got him. The Flabort cost me 20 speed, so I would have to increase my movement speed a lot, but obviously the amount of elemental damage we get here is ridiculous, so we're gonna get 80 elemental damage off of that. Yeah, I mean, I will take that. And then let's pick up the Little Frog as well. I think that will still pay for itself. Boxing Glove, I'm recycling. Toxic Sludge, we will take. And then here, I was hoping for some movement speed, but I'll take armor. Wings is good movement speed, but does cost me 2 elemental damage. At this point, though, our elemental damage is so ridiculously high that it doesn't really matter that we're decreasing it. So I will buy the wings here, because the only way I lose at this point, I think, is if my if my move speed is really low and we just tank infinite hits. I'll take this as well. It gives us both of the stats we need. And then the glass cannon, definitely. 50% damage, seems good. The snail could bring my move speed down to 0, but reduce enemy move speed. I think that is fine. And then I'm going to reroll for 25. Ooh, Dusty Fedora, a gnome, perfect. And the lure, obviously excellent as well. So being at 36 HP... is a little bit of a risk here, but our weapon hits very, very hard. So hopefully we can kill the elite before we have to worry about our low starting HP. See, now we've got the lightning, and the lightning itself triggers explosions from the rip and tear, so we've got all the things that just blow up enemies. If I find a baby with a beard, that would be even better, of course. Yeah, turns out the plus elemental damage from attack speed item is pretty good for the one-armed. Diploma, we're going to recycle. I don't think we particularly want this. Robot arm, I will pick up. We do lose some regeneration here, but the armor, I think, is worth it. And then I don't need to buy more elemental damage. I'm actually going to roll for movement speed or lifesteal, or regeneration. Those are kind of the stats that I think I want at this point. We will take the lure. We'll take the dusty fedora. We'll take the gnome. Roll again. Mouse is perfect. Lifesteal is now actually very good for us, so I'm going to pick that up, and I will lock the wings as well to try to get back to our 15 move speed cap. The range also isn't worthless. In fact, it's actually very good with Thunder Sword, because it means that we can be constantly attacking. And with our lifesteal from mouse and everything as well, we're gaining a lot of survivability as long as we can continuously attack, because we have all these projectiles. Now, what I'd really like is a level 4 weapon of some kind. Still haven't found one of those, but an upgraded Thunder Sword or a legendary would be even better, of course. I keep walking towards the trees to break them, but then the lightning randomly hits them, which obviously isn't a problem. That's a good issue to have, but it keeps throwing off my movement because I keep thinking I'm gonna need to be somewhere that I don't actually need to be. We already have one of those. Take another one. Take that. Another rip and tear. Awesome. Yeah, we can start building dodge even this late, I think. And now, Sharp Bullet, this will help the projectiles from our Thunder Sword. So I do lose a lot of damage. The piercing % damage, we lose 40%, right? So we need to find pumpkins to make up for that, but it's still worth picking this up, I think. Here, I lose 4 max HP, but gain an armor and a regeneration if I buy this, which I think is worth it. Grind's Magical Leaf, still good even this late. We will get a decent amount of stats from it. And Magic Barrier, I think we're passing on here. I do like this item a lot, but we have 22 armor already, so other stats, we just need more. Yeah, you can see the Cyberball is, when Cyberball procs a kill on an enemy, and then that enemy explodes from the Rip and Tear, it can start chain reactions that just take these pods out before they ever get to move at all. I don't think we're going to get a lot of luck from the Dusty Fedora because we're rarely going to be at full HP. But I love Dusty Fedora, so I'm always going to pick it up no matter what, basically. Great item design on that one, just very satisfying to use, even though it's too powerful. Definitely another lure and more melee damage. I think I'm going to roll here actually for dodge or lifesteal. I think the only way we lose this game is if we just get like 2-tapped by the bosses, so I just want to avoid that. Ritual is good. So I could take the level 4 Lightning Shiv. It gives me the king bonuses. We would end up with 25% more attack speed and 50% more damage, because that would obviously be doubled. But downgrading from Thunder Sword, which does 964, to the Lightning Shiv, which does 308, does not seem like a particularly powerful choice to me, so we're going to pass on that. I will take the Insanity, maybe. We could try to get positive crit chance, which would be fun just to do maximum damage, but I think I'm going to pass on that as well. Blindfold I'll buy, though. This is a decent way to get some crit chance, and also, of course, we want dodge. We want armor. Let's roll again. Buying the gambling token. So now we're at 20% dodge, which is pretty good. Metal, again, I think we're just giving up on crit chance. I've given up on crit chance 5 times this this run. We keep getting items where I'm like, maybe if we get a little bit more crit chance, then we could start building it back up. But then we get powerful items that reduce it again. And it's not like this is a critical hit focused build. The only thing that I bought was the tentacle, which we knew was speculative. As it turned out, it didn't work out. But, you know, there's obviously a world where if we had found a bunch of good crit items, then we could be benefiting from the tentacle quite a lot. Especially before we found the Thunder Sword, so we were a little more reliant on non-lifesteal healing. Now that we have the Thunder Sword, we've got a lot more healing, of course, because we were lifestealing several times off every swing. But that wasn't always the case. I'm going to recycle the little frog. I actually want to build dodge, and I'll take the riposte, and we'll take the clover. Magic barrier, we're recycling here, and then I'm going to roll, and I'll take 6% dodge again. So we can get to 60% dodge by the end of the game, possibly. Handcuffs is pretty nice here, and 87 HP is fine, so I'm going to buy, or 90 HP, I'm going to buy the medal and then buy the handcuffs. Almost did that in the wrong order, which I know makes everyone thrilled in the comments. I don't care about losing ranged damage, so I could buy the mastery, could buy power generator. I guess I will buy both of these. Toxic sludge, we can continue to increase our elemental damage, but does that even matter with 138 elemental damage? I don't actually think that's a huge component of our character right now. I just want defensive stats so that we don't get too tapped by the bosses. Would love to find a level 4 Thunder Sword, or just any level 4 sword I would take. We're not buying non-sword weapons, because this is a sword build, of course. And there we go. Also grinds Magical Leaf, giving us a lot of stats, too. Let's recycle SD's couch, of course, and we'll take the boiling water. I think that's fine. We're over HP cap anyways. Here, I'm going to roll. I could take armor or regeneration, but I really just want dodge. That's the stat that I care about the most. Move speed also gives us a lot of percent damage, but I think we're still looking for dodge. Look one more time for dodge here. We missed, but that's okay. I'll just take the attack speed, I guess. The melee damage is tempting, but actually I think attack speed is more helpful. Buy the gambling token and then roll. It's too late for this crown to do anything, but of course, what sort of king would we be without a crown? So we're going to buy it. And then we'll take the bait here. We'll roll. We'll buy the gambling token. Roll again, and missed on a level 4 sword. See, this is much more regal, so obviously that was the correct purchase. I will say also, go back to level 1. I was talking about other stuff, but go back to level 1 and look at the starting appearance of this character combination. It is very funny. We're picking up so many doubled materials because we left so many on the ground last wave. as we will this wave, of course. Ricochet, yes, definitely. I will definitely take Ricochet. We lose 50% damage, that's fine. We'll recycle this. Explosion size, awesome. And then here, I'm going to reroll, and I'll just take the 16% damage to make up for some of the damage I just cost myself with the Ricochet. Okay, so here's a level 3 sword, but we can't combine it with our Thunder Sword for a level 4 item. I could take the Panda here, but honestly, I just want to roll for sword. Just rolling for a level 4 weapon of some kind. That's not exactly what I was talking about, but it's close. We'll just take the focus here for a billion% damage and keep rolling. All right, we wouldn't have got there anyways. Let's go fight the bosses. This version of the king, of course, doesn't care that much about having level 4 weapons. It just would have been a nice cap to the build to be able to have the highest powered sword possible. And there we go. We have defeated the bosses with the ultimate sword potato. Let's take a quick look at our economy items. Obviously, we made 1,000 materials, or close to 1,500 materials from the bag. Recycling machine was awesome. Wish I had that third baby gecko, would have been pretty helpful. Coupon saved us a bunch of money. Fairy by the end game was still regen positive for us, and this did help carry us through the mid game, so I think this was a very good purchase. Even if it would have ended up costing me regeneration in the extreme late game, it would have been fine. We probably got about like 100 luck off the Dusty Fedora, so it still ended up being pretty good for this build, even though we weren't at full health that frequently. So overall, this build went extremely well and was very fun to play. I highly recommend this themed run, I guess, if you're looking for just a goofy combo. This one was really a blast, and you can just do kind of whatever, because these are two fairly powerful characters that work pretty well together. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run, and of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a leave a comment, like the video, and of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy games. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.